All right, so it's just going to continuation on the show. My connection shit out, so we'll do some editing magic and get it all together in one show, hopefully at the end here. You guys were talking about knife laws, right? What have we got?
Yeah, so really, really good question came up about what, kind of if we do anything proactively on the law side for a lot of states who have kind of restrictive knife laws. And I was saying there's nothing we're doing on the legal side at the moment, but we're very big in being proactive and educating people on what the knife laws are, because a lot of people misrepresent our knives. I was saying most of our OTF knives outside of the Halo and the Dragon Slayer, which we don't make very often, are not considered switchblades because of the double action feature. So believe it or not, a lot of obviously check your knife laws in your particular state, but most of our knives are legal to definitely own. Most of our knives in most states are actually legal to carry as well. There's kind of, each state is slightly different, and I'm not legal advice, but definitely in most situations, it's typically not frowned upon to carry one of our knives in most states.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, we always get those, especially when we're shipping the knives out. Like I had one from Washington. I'm like, dude, you just got to look at, I had someone in Connecticut, Massachusetts. You really got to just dig in.
Freaking out.
Yeah, those states are not very gun friendly. So I don't know how their knife laws, they're usually wonky knife laws. If your state isn't really firearm friendly, there are usually some wonky knife laws also.
Yeah.
So
there's a couple of those out there.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that.
So kind of on that same note, as me not, being huge in the knife world, like obviously for guns, we have the NRA and we have all these other organizations out there that kind of fight for our rights. Do you know if there's one that does the same thing with knives?
That's sort of like NRA or like SHOT Show.
Just NRA is always there lobbying for gun rights here, gun rights there, and there's a ton of other ones out there that are always kind of fighting for our gun rights. Is there an organization that you know of that does like knife rights or works to reform those laws?
Not that I know of currently.
I'm sure there's one out there. I just don't. Yeah.
I'm sure there might be one big one. I'll have to do some research. I'll get back to you on that one. But as far as I know, there's not any particular specific organizations doing just knife laws, just sort of like, NRA or some of those other guys do with the Second Amendment stuff.
Gotcha.
All right. Sweet deal. You were one of the few guys that got your hands on the STI John Wick 3 gun in prototype phase. What are your thoughts on it? And we posted a link on the Shooter's Mindset page where I guess TTI finally put the gun on their website available for purchase. Now the gun is $38.99. All right, so you can expect to pay just under $4,000. But I checked this morning, and we have obviously a lot of people were sharing it. We had tons of action on the Shooter's Mindset after this post. They crashed Taran Tactical's website due to heavy traffic. All right. And Taran Tactical's website is definitely probably have more, on the server side of things than like the Shooter's Mindset website. We crash when Jen puts an article out on the PRS.
But so this sounds like a PRS registration with servers crashing and stuff.
Yeah. But your thoughts on the John Wick 3 gun, and what do you think of it?
So I obviously love it. Like you said, I don't know how many people had them. I know there weren't a whole lot of them, but this is actually mine. So I've had mine since probably late September, maybe early October. But obviously it's a 5.4 inch. So just for everybody who's watching, there's not a magazine in the gun, and it is clear. I
remember you used to get roasted if you didn't do that shit on the YouTube video.
I was like, it's not harmed anybody but me, but just for those guys. So then obviously you've got a bull barrel. This actually, I've shot a couple 2011s. This is definitely one of the softest. They all shoot typically they all shoot really soft. This is one of the softest shooting 2011s that I've ever shot. I don't know if it's just the weight of it or the fact that it's 5.4 inches. I know there are a couple that are that long out there. But this is definitely, without a doubt, my favorite. I'm partial because I'm John Wick obsessed. But this is without a doubt my favorite STI gun they've ever made. This one's kind of cool. I believe there are only 4 that actually are like this as of right now. But if you see, my mag release on mine is actually one of our proprietary screws from the Microtech knives.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
that's cool.
Yeah, so we had a couple of those made. If you look at like our combat, it's one of the ones that'll show up really well. It's a little tri-lug screw right there, and so we had a couple of those made. So that's kind of cool.
That's
but
awesome.
the gun feels. I mean, obviously STIs and a lot of 2011s are very high end, but this thing feels like it's on glass, and it shoots fantastic. It has definitely become my favorite gun. Which my 34 was my Taran Tactical 34 was mine. I know I believe you've got a TTI 35.
Yeah.
Which I mean they're awesome as far as custom Glocks go. But obviously the entire gun was based off of the slide cuts from the Glock series. So you've got the exact same window cuts, the same front and rear cocking serrations. The biggest difference is on the Taran Tactical Glocks. You have a sort of a tin coated kind of colored barrel. This particular one is actually like a copper DLC. Is what they tell me, but it's I'm telling you, it is definitely my favorite gun. I'm very heavily considering getting a second one and just putting it away for a rainy day because I love it so much, and I want to have one that still looks pretty that I can just kind of fondle while I beat this one up.
Right. Yeah, I hear you. And it's different from most STIs because it's coming with an extreme engineering kit right out the jump. Okay, we're getting, I believe, 4 22-round magazines, and they're coming with your TTI base plates, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, usually your usual STIs are just going to come with an STI plastic base pad on there. You're not going to get, I don't believe, now some models may vary, but I don't think you get the extreme engineering kit with most STIs.
Yeah, so it comes with a lot out of the gate. It comes with some base pads and magazines, and it kind of you know what you run into when you start getting into competitions, especially if you're new to it, is you buy the gun and do not realize the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars you have to still spend on other gear. And STI mags are not cheap. So honestly, in my opinion, I was actually pleasantly surprised at the price. A lot of people are going to say, you know, basically $4,000 for a gun is a lot, and it is. But for this type of gun with how it performs, like I said, I've been running mine for a while. I know, you know, Niels Jonathan, who's a very well-known shooter. He has been winning competitions right and left with his 2011. So I mean, it performs. So for kind of how it performs and what it is, in my opinion, the $4,000 with it coming with, you know, I think it's 4 mags and 4 base pads and all that stuff. It's a steal. Anything comparable to this from SVI or Akai or anything like that is going to definitely run well over 5. But I will say I did forget these are actually available for anyone who does want to purchase them. So they are available from the X-Ring Customs on Etsy. He was the guy that made all these for us. He actually runs the X-Ring channel on YouTube, which is where we did. He was kind enough to do a review of this one for me. So if you want to see how it shoots, you actually can on his YouTube channel, because that is over there. I still think it's the only only review of the gun up so far. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. $38.99 for what you're really getting is. I mean, I know. Hey, everybody's wallet is different. You know what I mean? And everybody thinks a certain amount of money is too much for certain things. You can say this. People were saying that about the Microtech knives. Hey, why are they priced so high? Mm-hmm. So I mean, you're always going to have that. You know, those folks, but you know, like you said, the Kaz, and you're getting into custom. You know, even general, like, you know, the STI Omni, you're going to pay $4,000. That's a $4,000 gun. The DVC Opens are $4,000 guns. You know, we're talking MSRP, I believe, or it might even be retail. I don't even know. But, you know, you're talking about, it's under that. It's slightly under that at $38.99 for a gun that we were talking at the pre-show. Can only really go up in value unless you beat it to piss and it's rusty or something like weird like that. But it can only go up as the movie approaches, people start watching it, all that. I mean, you're gonna have your value back in that gun, if not more.
Especially based on the wait times for these currently. So these are going to be anywhere from 6 months from the time you place the order. It always can vary, always can change, but as of right now, especially with the crashing website, you're going to be waiting anywhere from about 6 months to a year before you get yours once you buy it. So, and which that's kind of comparable with some of the Akais and the SVIs. Now, it's a little different because they can get up to 18, 19 months because there are full-on customs. But again, that was when we did the review video for it. It got like 700, 800 comments, and a good portion of them were, I can't believe this gun costs $4,000. I would never pay that for a gun. And it's like, it's typically from people who they're not from the competition world. So they're not going to know. But I'm like, some of the STIs or some of the SVIs and the Akais, they're $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 if you want to. I remember a couple of years ago, I played on SVI or Infinity's sort of little gun builder or whatever. Yeah. And I accidentally built myself like a $9,000 gun really quickly. It's like specking out a car. You kind of put everything on it. So I mean, they get a way up there. So for what you get and how this gun performs, it's a steal.
Man, so 9 G's and you gotta wait a year. Think about that. Your 9 G's is gone out of your account.
You're in this for less than $4,000, and it comes with everything you need except for the holster and the belt.
Yeah,
pretty much. So it's a good starter gun.
Yeah, I would yeah,
it's a starter gun.
My first competition was with a Glock 19 with night sights was the upgrade I had on them.
There's your starter gun. But hey, if you have a fat wallet, it's an excellent starter gun. Go ahead and buy it. Whatever. It's you can find them right now on TaranTacticalInnovations.com. Do not use our discount code, which we're going to get into right here shortly, because it will not work. Or it will work, and they'll call you and
call you for more money
for the remainder of the money that, 300 a 10% discount code would save you $380 off of something, in that ballpark for a gun like that, a purchase. So, but someone will be calling you if you want to talk to somebody at TTI. It's a good way to do that. Just put TSM10 in there, and someone will call you to collect the remaining balance.
That's only like $380 that our code could save you.
Yeah, there it is. So we'll get into discount codes. Jen, you usually start us off. What do we have?
Yep, you can get 10% off in the Shooter's Mindset store. I keep forgetting to say that on the show. On the Shooter's Mindset store, so go check it out and use the code GENTSM10 and get 10% off. You can also get 10% off of under jerseys. I've seen a couple people post, what's a good jersey company? So check out Under Industries on Facebook, and you can message him right there on Facebook, and he will respond, and they'll do whatever you want for a jersey. So you can get 10% off with TSM10, or just tell them the Shooter's Mindset, and you can get your 10% off. And you can also get 10% off of Carbon Arms with the code TSM10 to get some great shotgun shell caddies, so you can go 3-gun.
There we go, Greg. What do you got?
You can save 10% off at Overwatch Defense with the code Cannon10. Just shoot them an email or give them a call. They do all sorts of stuff. Probably their biggest thing is they can do an awesome Cerakote job on pretty much anything you can imagine. So it's Cannon10 at Overwatch Defense.
All right, there we go. I got a couple here. Shop.tacticalshit.com. TSM10 saves you 10% website wide. If you're in the St. Peters, Missouri area, you can yell it at the cashier at the retail spot, and hopefully you get 10% and alert all the customers about our code as well who are standing in line trying to purchase. TaranTacticalInnovations.com. TSM10 saves you on parts. All right, on parts. The John Wick gun, supposedly it does work at checkout, but they will be calling you for the rest of your $380 that you would save. So whatever. It's up to you. Use it. Hell, they'll call you.
I mean, if you just want to chat with somebody that is actually at TTI, use that coupon code, and you'll be getting a call.
Yeah, they'll call you for the remaining balance, and hell, and it might delay you might be put, further down the wait list because now there's a delay in there, but it's up to you. There we go. What else I have? Did I have any more discount codes? Tactical, umtactical.com, 10% off over at Tactical. All right. Corey, anything off the top of your head on the fly, discount code wise?
Not that I have. Off the top of my head. Man,
right.
you guys had it on point, and I have nothing.
Right, yeah, Gucci Glocks, Combat Masters,
Gucci
Campbell
Glocks.
10 is. We'll see what happens, and you might get lucky. What else? What else do you got? We talked briefly. I mean, you obviously went to California to do some training with Taran and the crew.
Yes.
How was that experience? I mean, that's movie star range essentially.
That was surreal. It was definitely one of those. I'd seen a lot of the videos that all the actors had, and things like that Taran posts all the time. But actually getting to be out there was awesome. Taran's fantastic. He's one of my favorite people. He is super. If you ever get to meet him in person, he's super, super nice. He's a huge dude. I mean, he's 6'2", 6'2". He's a tall guy. You can't really tell a lot of times, through video, but he's a big, tall shooter. It makes sense because he shoots a shotgun, and just his stature, his height and everything. He can run a shotgun, a pistol, or nothing. It all just doesn't move. Getting to see him shoot in person was fantastic. I will definitely say I can fanboy out about that one because his shooting ability in person is you have to see it to actually believe that it's like a real thing. Because he shoots so fast. I don't know. I can't even shoot that fast and miss. Let alone it's awesome. We were out there. We went out there at a good time. We were out there in July. It happened to be right around my birthday. And so we got to meet a couple of actors, a couple of the people that were on Guardians of the Galaxy and Walking Dead. And then at the time, Halle Berry was out there for John Wick 3. She was training for that. So that was really, really cool. Getting to meet some of those people. And then Mark Paul Gosselaar, he was on, I guess, his new show that's on the Passage right now. So he was out there training a bunch. But it was fun. It's kind of one of those, if you ever get the chance to go, it's definitely worth doing. I would love to go back.
Yeah.
If they ever let me.
Yeah, might be able to get over there next month. The invite was always been there for me. I just never flew over to Cali.
You have to.
Yeah.
And by the way, I do have a discount code for you that did arise.
Okay.
X-Ring. So X-Ring gets you 7% off Defender ammo.
There we go. Awesome.
Boom.
So if you're in the market for some ammo, 7%
if you're in
off
the market
over there.
for some ammo. Good stuff.
Lastly here, get back on the knives Microtech topic. Spotting a counterfeit. All right. Believe it or not, there's a piss ton of counterfeit knives, not only the Microtech brand, but all of the major brands, that are out there. And I've got some messages. Hey, I'm at a pawn shop and they have this Ultratech here for $50. I'm like, is it real? I'm like, is it real? And I just send them a picture of what we have. And I'm like, dude, that shit looks like a fake. And the key thing is usually the screws, correct?
Yeah. There's actually a couple of things. Obviously, around the world, our knives get counterfeited. We're mostly in the U.S. We are international, but we're mostly in the U.S. And there's a handful of things. A lot of times, for instance, let me grab the turquoise one. So a lot of times you'll see the logos will be this one's really sharp, especially in person. You'll typically see the logos. They're in weird places or they're not straight. You can tell they weren't almost like professionally done. On some of our knives, you can tell on the blades too. You'll see weird combinations. So this is a little UTX 70. It's a little baby knife. It has a little what we call a hellhound blade, and you'll see random things like this in in a colored knife like this that we've never done before. You'll see on our halos, for instance, because I know that you were familiar with them. We were talking about it earlier. The logoing on the halos is, again, it's misprinted or it's not even, not in the middle, and you can sort of tell it's off. If you really don't know, there's typically two things you can do. You can tell by the price, like you were saying. A lot of times it's one of those too good to be true situations where it's a lot cheaper than anywhere else you could find it. That's a sign. And then if if you've ever held a real Microtech, if you hold a fake Microtech, you can immediately tell the difference.
Right.
But if you ever have any questions, anybody who's watching is always more than welcome to reach out to me on social media or Instagram or through my email. Like I said, ccampbell@microtechknives.com, and I'm always more than happy to try and track down the answers for you. I've seen some very good fakes. It's not often, but there's definitely even some that I have to kind of question and get people who know a little bit more about it than I do to help me, because there are a handful of good fakes, but those are typically the telltale signs. The price, it's weird configurations you've never seen before, or a lot of misprinted or kind of uneven logos.
I've seen them fake down to the box they come in almost. It's like they really do put on a show for you. And
we've actually with our knives, most of our all of our knives come with a little pamphlet. And I kid you not, we had a guy come to a show, and somebody had taken pictures of each page and then printed them out and like stuck them together. And it was done. It wasn't like somebody did it in like their garage, but basically they took pictures and mass ran our pamphlets even down to that. So it gets pretty insane.
Yeah. So really look at the price and probably the screws, and obviously just look closely at it. But if the price sounds too good to be true, most likely it's a fake, because like we said, even on the secondhand market, these knives are still holding their value, if not being more expensive on that. So
and like I said, if the logos aren't straight, then that's always that's a big one.
Yeah. Boom. There we go. Any live that came in? I know we had to redo kind of the show link, but I don't know if anything got over there yet.
I don't have anything as of yet.
No. All right. You guys gotta go over to Shooter's Mindset Facebook page and give Greg some action.
Yes, give Greg some action. We should make that a hashtag, by the way.
Yeah. Greg some action. Anything else we have coming up as far as events or matches or anything like that? Any goals for you?
Yeah. So obviously we've got the IWA show in Germany coming up. That's pretty cool. That's in a couple weeks. Then we follow that up with a couple of smaller shows. We've got Blade Show. Obviously, that is huge for us. That is our SHOT Show. That is if you've ever been. This past year was my first year, and it was a madhouse, especially around the Microtech booth. I was not working for Microtech at the time, but it was just I couldn't even get to the booth. It was that crowded around the booth. So that's our SHOT Show. That's a big one. And then a few smaller ones till we get to NRA and things like that. And then we kind of round out the end of the year with some big shows, a couple more trips across the pond. And obviously I'll be shooting, hoping to shoot a bunch of matches this year. Finally getting back into it. I took a little hiatus because I still actually don't have a holster for my 2011 yet. I'm still waiting on that to come in. So I haven't been able to shoot that one. I'm hoping if I get a holster for it, it'll just force me to go and shoot matches. But we'll see. Maybe a major. If I get good enough, maybe a major will be in the cards. I don't know about that, but
just do it.
That would be the goal to at least go to a major this year. That'd be the big one for me.
There we go. You're able to. You guys didn't have a booth at SHOT Show, right? You guys usually don't have a booth at SHOT.
No, we don't, just because we can't sell anything. It's very different than the gun industry where, people are coming out with, it's not that there's not things we can do, but it's just a very different type of innovation. It's not like, I think Franklin Armory did that Reformation rifle that's basically like an SBR, but doesn't have rifling. So stuff like that, it's just much harder. It's much harder in the knife community to come up with things that are totally reinvented. Obviously, I'm sure you're aware. The booths at SHOT Show, I never realized how expensive that stuff was.
It's a pricey venture for sure.
Some of those big booths are probably $100,000 easily. Yeah. So we're most every year we are there, so you can always find us. Sometimes we have swag.
There we go. You are able to, and not at the Blade Show, you're able to sell knives and all that. Then there's no restriction like
selling like crazy. Yeah, we'll be selling like crazy at Blade Show. May or may not even have some really, really cool Blade Show specials this year. So I don't know. Maybe not.
Where is it? Is it located in the same, or is it jump around? Is it the same state, or where is it at?
As far as I know, it's always in Atlanta.
Right.
As far as I'm aware, I've only done it for 2 years, but that's where it'll be this year as well.
Excellent. So there we go. Check out
fun.
Blade Show if you can get yourself some nice specials over there if you're into it, if you're close by.
Yeah.
What else we got? I think we're almost good to wrap this one up. I kind of skipped on the knife laws and all that stuff, but I think we hit it. Did we hit any Microtech warranty? Because we do hear some guys like, what is knife maintenance, right, on these knives, and can I take them apart, and what do I lube them up? Like, what is knife maintenance, all right? And what do you guys recommend?
So on our folders and things like that, there's not a ton of maintenance. You're just going to want to kind of make sure every once in a while you're lubricating the pivots and sort of the folders so that they stay nice and smooth. With our double action knives, our OTFs particularly, they can from time to time gunk up, whether it be they need oil like a firearm, or lint. Most people are carrying them in their pockets so they can have lint, or depending on what you do with them. I have seen some people who have more dirt in their knives than like on their shoes, just from the things they do for a living, or they're using them. And so the best kind of practice would be, we recommend rim oil because it's extremely light, but just spraying rim oil down into the chassis with the blade retracted, and then blasting it out with compressed air. That will do one of two things. It'll kind of move around and clear out all the excess oil, but it also will clear any debris out. And then that's basically the only maintenance that's typically needed. Obviously, we have a warranty program through Microtech, so springs break, or anything else that arises that is not something that you're able to fix without the knife being opened up. Then we have on our website, we actually have a warranty tab that lets you fill out an RA request, or return authorization request, and you'll get a number that's associated with your knife, and you'll send it into us, and we'll get it back out to you. So with our warranty, we actually have a limited lifetime warranty. So what that means is pretty much any defects in materials or craftsmanship is obviously covered. Pretty much 99% of all maintenance is covered as well. If your springs break, or most of the time, all of that's going to be covered. A couple of caveats to that would be knives that are kind of old, we don't make anymore. We do still have some parts, but not always readily available. So things like scarabs, some of that stuff can be fixed, but if as those have been phased out, as we run out of parts, then some of those are going to not always be able to be repaired with what we still have available. But anytime we like to take care of people, so anytime you have a problem, you're always more than welcome to message us, and we'll get you squared away.
And sharpening your own knives for Microtech, that is not something that you guys want your consumers to do, right?
I would not recommend it. It is not it's not the end of the world. I'll put it to you, this is my PR answer. It's not the end of the world, but we just don't recommend it, because if for any reason you're sharpening your knife and then you somehow damage it beyond our ability to repair it, then it would just, that particular thing would not be covered, and it would require us to replace the blade for you, which would cost. Can't remember that off the top of my head, but it's not terrible. But I would just recommend, we've got some of the best sharpeners in the world. I can actually legitimately say that we've got some quite a few master sharpeners in our facility. So I can say without a doubt that they're fantastic, and I would not hesitate to send it in, and we'll always get it squared away and sharpened for you.
Yeah, and it's covered, right? You just pay for shipping, essentially.
Right. Yeah, so you just pay the typically if you want the knife to come in to be cleaned and sharpened, typically that's a $15 charge. Just covers, you just send us a check with $15. It just covers that entire process. We'll clean it, oil it, and sharpen it for you, and get it sent right back out to you. Usually that comes back with a little bit of swag as well.
Awesome, yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, I have never been able, I'm not no knife sharpener. I know that's kind of a skill in itself.
Yeah.
But you always got that one buddy, yeah, I bought this thing, and you just put it on there and it's done. I've never been, those machines, the workforce and those, and whatever they sell sharpeners. I've never gotten a factory edge back. It might have been sharp again, but it was never factory sharp. So to me, it's just worth sending it back at that point.
So like, I shouldn't use this little this thing on a Microtech.
Nice. Yeah. No, those are.
Yeah. Do you know how many knives I've sharpened with this?
Look, he's cringing.
No.
I would worry. I say that coming from a place. I'm not a sharpener. I don't mess with that. I know where my skills lie. You're probably way better at it than me. I'll leave it at that.
No, I would not take my Microtech to that. Trust me, it's gonna mess it up more than help it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do it.
Bryson Allen over on YouTube said, "Can't beat a Microtech knife. Great guys over there, and I won't take my combat Trudon out of my pocket."
All right, that's what I got. It's my favorite knife.
Yeah, there we go. The only thing that I've ever seen with them is people who carry it in the pocket for a lengthy amount of time, you do get that pocket lint in there, and it'll kind of like prevent it from like opening at certain points. I've seen that happen. And obviously all the guys in the shop have it. So sometimes we use our knives to pry things, and I've learned not to do that with my Microtechs. I mean, they're like Corey said, I mean, they have, there's videos of hard use on these knives, but we have broken the tips off more than one.
we have a lot of tips come back. They're we definitely, especially we have a lot of people use them as pry bars, and in a lot of cases, I'm sure they will hold up. But I can definitely say for anybody watching, they were not designed as pry bars, and you definitely will break it eventually if you'll break something will eventually break if you're using it as pry bar.
Yeah, I started carrying one of those little Gerber shard tools. It's like $10, and it's the most awesome little mini pry bar ever. And you don't have to worry about stabbing yourself or breaking your knife with it.
There we go. Yeah, I was like we talked a little bit on the pre-show about this. I carry usually two knives. The one that I'm gonna like defense knife stab somebody with, or an animal with, if I'm being attacked by like a lion in South Florida.
You might get attacked by a gator.
I was about to say, don't you have gators or like anacondas?
It's fine. I'm not afraid of those. Like, I don't even think of like. I've had a history with gators, but we like pet them where we go fishing. It's like nice. but I usually carry a knife that I beat to shit. Box opening knife, to pry knife, to like throw it and try to stick it in the wall somewhere. Mm-hmm. That's like this little beater $30-$40 knife, and then I have my high-end Microtechs or similar knife brands, at that few $100 price point that I use for the wild lions down in South Florida. But that's about it. I carry two, so if you want to take my advice, if you want to pry, you can do it with a little bit of a cheaper knife. There we go. All right, I think. What you got, Corey?
I was just gonna say, I know. I actually think I want one of these. Because I usually carry two knives too. I've usually got the one I'll show off to say I'm carrying it, and then I'll have like the one that I actually cut stuff with. But I think it's Maverick Customs. They make some of like the Damascus and Timascus pry bars. I don't know if you've ever seen those, but they look awesome, and I really want one of those.
Yeah. There we go. Lastly, I'll kind of wrap it up. We're going to wind this one down to shout-outs here shortly. We do have some wicked we do have a Halo, and if you're looking for like one of those knives that you probably won't see come around, we have it's a standard Trudon knife. It's not the combat Trudon. It's like the UTX 85 size. Damascus steel, if I'm saying that right, double edge. And it has like the titanium purple kind of blue screws in it. It's nuts. It's expensive, but if you want something, we have some available. Just under $700. We'll get you one.
We only made a handful of those, so they're pretty rare. So I would definitely grab one up.
Yeah, just under $700 can get you one. Send me an email, call Pembroke Gun Range, and we'll ship it to you if the laws kind of coincide. All right, wrap up. Shout outs. What do we have, Jen? You got us.
All right, Macmillan Stocks. Mine is in process. being made. I can't wait to get it. So go check out McMillan Stocks, Night Force Optics, Prime Ammunition, Warren Scope Mounts and Bipods.
Sweet.
Lansing Tactical for gas guns, Under Industries for your awesome jerseys, Shooters of Augusta and Sharpshooters of Augusta. Yeah, I think that's all.
Cannon, what do you got?
I have Shooters and Sharpshooters of Augusta, Overwatch Defense for an awesome Cerakote job, PDC Custom for probably the coolest rifle chassis in the world, and NDZ Performance to build your Gucci Glock or whatever other. They got stuff for pretty much everything out there.
Mm-hmm. I got a couple live ones here that just spilled in, and we'll kind of finish up the wrap up. One from Kayla Campbell says, Corey, awesome information you're giving out about Microtech. That's my brother. An awesome channel. Shooters Mindset. Thanks for hosting. All right. So Bryson Allen says, yep, I carry pretty much 2 daily. Combat Trudon for showing off and Blue Handle, and a SOCOM Elite for hard use. Yeah, the SOCOM is one of those.
Tank.
Yeah. It definitely has that feel to it that it's going to hold up through pretty much anything. But shout outs on your end, Corey. What do you have?
Yeah, so actually, I guess I know since we talked about it, obviously Microtech, since they let me do all this fun stuff, and I get to play with knives all the time and kind of show them off. X-Ring channel just for doing the review on the 2011 we spoke about, and Defender Ammo for providing. They're affiliated with the X-Ring channel for providing the ammo for all of those videos.
Boom! There we go. I gotta holler at Tony and tell him to send one of those Combat Masters or something. Send me one of them prototype Gucci combat STIs that you have laying around that everybody shot. I just want to do a couple videos.
I'll have to come down. I'll have to either come down there and bring mine, or I'll have to get you up here to shoot it. And if you come up here, we'll we can shoot a bunch of stuff. We have a lot of things we can shoot up here.
Were you in the Carolinas?
Yes, North Carolina. So I live in Charlotte, but work in Asheville.
Damn,
that's a drive.
It is. It's about 2.5 hours.
Yeah, but you're in Jen and Greg's neighborhood. I'm 2 states away.
And so me and Jen are kind of in the middle. So you guys should all come to either Shooters or Sharpshooters of Augusta, and we'll
do a demo.
There we go.
Do a STI demo, or
like you could be at my house in the amount of time that you go to work. So
yeah.
I was going to say they're both closer, so they might come and they might shoot the 2011 before you do.
Yeah, exactly.
I was say if this was last week's show, I was in Charlotte this last weekend. So I'll
Oh yeah.
We'll take videos, Anthony.
There we go. Yeah, that works.
Yeah. Where do you shoot it up in Charlotte?
I'll sell something to get one eventually. So there we go. Maybe we'll see. I don't know what I want to part with. It's hard. But let's see. Wrap up on my end. Definitely. What do we got? A couple of friends work at Microtech, Jeff and Greg, and they love that company. So from Nick, Jeff, and Greg over at Microtech, they love the company. If you're watching on the YouTube side of things, hit the subscribe button right below the video. Every Tuesday at 9 Eastern, we're doing a new episode of The Shooter's Mindset featuring another great guest. All right. If you want to email me, theshootersmindset@gmail.com. If you're watching the show later on and you want a Microtech, we might have it in stock where I work because we're a dealer. You can always shoot me an email there. Definitely shout out to Corey for taking the time out and doing the show. I know it's going to be a kind of a weird 2-part show since my connection took a dump, but we'll figure it out. It's not the first time it happens. Lastly, what do we have? Folks over at Taran Tactical Innovations, and we'll kind of wrap it up with that. So TaranTacticalInnovations.com, TSM10, and save you $380 on the Combat Master, maybe. All right.
There we go. Kill you.
There we go. That'll do it. Yeah. He's going to have like 10 people he has to call or something.
Like, man, don't be telling them that.
Yeah, don't be telling them that. Yeah. Take that show down now. Yeah, take the show down immediately. Now, maybe we can have Jade call you back or something and collect the funds. It might be worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We're out of here, guys. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We'll see you on the next one.